Hey everybody, Vicki in the car. I got my mom up in the car with me today.
Hey,
This is episode 13. It's Friday, September the 13th, and today is my birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday, Vicki!
Yay, thank you. Alright, so we're going to switch it up a little bit. Normally I ask the questions, but today my mom is going to be asking me some questions.
Alrighty. All right, first, Vicki, I want to thank you for inviting me to be with you in the car. I appreciate it very much. I have a couple of kudos for you first, okay? And I will be looking at my notes just to let everyone know, okay? I just want you to know that your episodes have been very thoughtful, educational, insightful, and entertaining. So I love them. Also like how you give your interviewees the opportunity to let everyone know, your subscribers and viewers, where they can find them. So I think that's a great thing. So kudos to you for that. So since I am asking the questions today of Miss Vicki, here we go. First one. How do you come up with the questions?
It's a process. So sometimes if I hear stuff from conversations, I take stuff from there, and a lot of stuff that's happening in my life, or like I might hear something, or if it's a debate about something, I'll jot it down in my notes. Some stuff I see on Instagram, and I'll be like, oh, that would be good. So it comes from a lot of those things, just everyday things that I might hear that I think might be interesting.
Great. All right. Keep it up. That's a great job. How do you pick which questions to ask certain people?
So I do prepare for each episode. So I think about who I'm interviewing, in their situation and what they have going on if I know. So I do sometimes do people I'm not as close with. So I kind of just like pick things that I think they might be good at answering. But like with Quasey's, I held on to the question about the N-word because I didn't know who to give it to.
Oh, okay.
And I'm so happy that I gave it to him because he answered it perfectly.
Right.
So
he was really good.
yeah, so sometimes I just try to match what I have with the person.
Okay. That's good. Do you provide the questions ahead of time?
Oh, no.
And why not?
I think it takes away from the interview if they know. A lot of people sometimes do ask, what are you going to ask? Or they'd be like, oh, I'm scared, I don't want to come, because they don't know what I'm going to ask.
Right.
But I think people can realize that I don't tell them the questions ahead of time based on how they react when I do ask something. I just don't want it to be like rehearsed or anything like that. And somebody had wanted to re-record an episode, but I said no because it was going to take away because they already knew the question.
Right,
so
exactly.
it wouldn't have been the same feel if I had redid it. So it's the same. I don't want them to know the questions. Real life conversations. That's what this is.
Exactly. Well, do you prefer to interview women or men, and why? Which one?
I don't know. I've had a lot of guys in here, but that's not that's not saying that I like guys more. Just because I kind of put a list together of who I would like to interview or who has requested to come, so I kind of put it in that order. And the guys just seem to be outnumbered, but I did talk to 2 females that I want to bring in the car.
Oh, good.
But I think it's both the same.
Okay.
To me.
Have any of the people you've interviewed inspired you? And if yes, how? If not, why not?
I think every episode I learn something, and they do inspire me. Every single, I can go from Valerie to Aaron to even Eugene, like talking about the marriage. I think every episode I have learned something, and then like there's always conversation before the camera starts, and there's always conversation after. So I always pick up something like every interview.
Okay. Do you use any of the answers from your interview questions in your everyday life? And if so, how?
I think I do. I ponder, especially so with Dan's episode, he had a lot of good things to say, and then somebody else about dating too. So I do try to hold on to those things.
Do you think your interviews will help inspire, motivate others in their everyday life?
I do. I get a lot of feedback from people. Was like, man, that was good. I didn't think about it that way. So I do think that this is bringing light to situations and making people think differently and think outside the box, or maybe just be more encouraged to, fix your marriage or like do some of these things that people are saying. Like, hey, maybe that can work for my marriage or my situation.
Exactly. Great.
Yeah.
This one's a little different. You had an episode of Vicki on the cruise.
Oh, yeah.
How did you decide what complete strangers you would approach to ask and if they would be willing to be interviewed? Now, I was there, so I was really, really surprised. So how did that come about?
That was hard. So I did get, I got one no.
Oh,
So I saw a lady, and I just kind of was looking for people that were like interesting and looked like they might have some
interesting looks, huh?
Yeah, because of the questions. I had already had my questions, so I knew
great.
what I was asking, so I wanted to find somebody that fit those questions. So I did get one no, and the next two people that I asked, they said yes. And they were more on the younger kind of single side, so that's kind of what I was going for based on the questions that I had.
Okay.
But it was interesting walking around looking for people. Like,
well, see, this leads into this one. Were you nervous approaching them or very confident?
I was confident. I kind of told them, like, hey, I have this YouTube channel that I interview people. They kind of was like, I don't know you, but I was like, this is what I do. I interview people. Would you let me interview you? And the two that were on there, they said yeah.
Great. All right. And how did you come up with the questions to ask these complete strangers?
So when the thought came to me to do an episode, I always have a running list of questions in my phone. I didn't have my notebook, so I just looked through those and picked questions that I think would be good. I didn't know about, their spiritual walk and all that, if they were married and all that, so I just stuck with questions that anybody could answer. Pretty much.
That's good. Okay. All right. Well, this is the last one. We've gone through really fast.
Yeah.
I know you've had 2 people in the car. Would you consider having at least 3 or 4 people in the car doing a speed round interaction question and answer section?
Oh, wow.
I mean, I just think, wow, 4 other people in here and you just asking the questions and they're just coming back at you and stuff.
I thought about having 1 in the front and then 2 in the back.
Okay.
I was just worried about if you could see everybody.
Well, we could see Aaron, but that was just one person. So
that was just one. So I don't know if 4, if we could all, be on the camera and view, but that is an idea. I could do a group thing.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to see that. I think that would be awesome.
But I'm doing the kids. I did mention the kids, but the kids thing is going to be a reality because I do want to interview kids and, kids say whatever.
Exactly.
But, so I do want to interview kids and switch it up. But the speed questions.
I'd love that because how Aaron was, interjecting his thoughts into what someone else was saying, and so I'd love to see that. Just not that there would be any conflict or anything, but just I think this way and I think this way, and just to see. So
and
that's
girls
great.
And guys.
Right. Exactly. All right.
When we hanging out, and if I be like, hey y'all, let's hop in the car first. Don't be surprised.
Exactly.
Most of the time, like when I'm hanging out with people or something like that, we just end up having conversation in the car. Like it could go for hours, and then I was like, man, it was kind of a joke, at first with the girls and Aaron, like Vicki in the car. Like we used to joke about it. It used to be like a song, and then one day I called Aaron and I was like, yo, I'm really about to do this. I was like, Vicki in the car, like it's about to be real, and then. But real life conversation just happened because you can learn a lot about a person in the car, and I think it's just an intimate setting. So that's where Vicki in the car started.
Sounds great. Thank you, and happy birthday again.
Thank you. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, y'all. Vicki in the car. Stay tuned Sunday. Thanks, Mom, for coming in.
Thank you for asking me.